The miter saw is the backbone of precision carpentry. Every flawless frame, every tight corner, every professional finish, it all starts here. But using a miter saw isn't about pressing a trigger and hoping for clean cuts. It's about rhythm, control, and setup. The difference between an average cut and a perfect one lies in the power. This process. When you walk up to the saw, think like a surgeon. Preparation is everything. Start by setting your workspace. Level surface, solid footing, good lighting. A shaky stand ruins precision faster than a dull blade. Check your blade. Clean, sharp, and matched to your material. A 60-tooth fine-finish blade for trim. A 24-tooth for rough framing. Never cut expensive lumber with a blade caked in resin. That's amateur hour. Next, the setup. Mark your material with a sharp pencil and a square. Always mark the waist side of the line. Pros know, the blade has thickness called kerf, usually about 1/8 of an inch. If you cut right on your mark, you'll lose material. Stay on the waist side and let the blade's edge kiss the line. That's the sweet spot. Now, let's talk about alignment. The fence is your best friend. Always make sure your board sits flat against it. Even a small gap creates angle drift. Your cut will look perfect at first, but when you join it later, you'll see the mismatch. Clamp your workpiece when possible. A moving board is a crooked board. Before the first cut, check your angles. 0 degrees is a straight cut. For corners and trim, 45 is standard. But pros don't trust presets. They verify with a digital gauge or a square. Calibration matters. A miter saw that's even a degree off will compound that error across every piece of your project. Measure, test, confirm. Now for the actual cut. Lower the blade guard, power up the saw, and let the blade reach full speed before it touches wood. Never rush that step. It prevents tear out and burning. Lower the saw smoothly through the cut, then pause at the bottom for 1 second before raising it. That pause ensures the blade finishes cleanly instead of ripping fibers on the way up. Here's where real craftsmanship shows: consistency. If you're making multiple identical cuts, set up a stop block instead of measuring each piece. That single trick saves time and keeps your dimensions laser accurate. Builders who eyeball every cut spend half their life sanding mistakes. The pros cut once, clean, measured, and repeatable. For angled cuts, always remember, inside angles and outside angles are not the same. The piece that goes inside a corner needs a slightly different orientation than the piece that wraps around it. Test every angle on scrap before committing to your final boards. That small habit separates professional precision from DIY guesswork. Let's talk compound cuts, the advanced skill that turns a user into a craftsman. When you tilt both the miter and bevel angles, you're in compound territory, essential for crown molding, complex trim, and cabinetry. The secret is understanding the spring angle of your molding. Measure it once, record it, and use a digital angle finder if possible. There's no shame in using tech to perfect tradition. The result? Tight, invisible seams that look factory-made. Cut quality isn't only about technique, it's also about maintenance. Dust and debris build up fast. A dirty miter saw base can shift your angles without you realizing it. Clean your table, fence, and rails after every session. Lubricate sliding mechanisms monthly. Keep your blade sharp and balanced. A dull blade burns wood, strains your motor, and destroys accuracy. Pros change blades the moment performance drops. They don't wait for failure. Safety is non-negotiable. Always keep your hands at least 6 inches away from the blade pad. Never cross your arms when cutting. Reposition the piece instead. And never, ever lift the blade with the trigger still pressed. Let it stop completely before moving anything. Respect the tool, and it will serve you for decades. Here's a professional trick for perfect finishes. Use a slow, deliberate motion at the end of your cut. That final half second determines whether your edge feels glass smooth or chewed. If you still get tear out, apply painter's tape over your cut line or use a backing board behind your workpiece. It supports the fibers and leaves a crisp edge, clean enough for stain or lacquer. And remember this, miter saws don't forgive sloppy measurement. A perfect 45 cut means nothing if your material length is off by a 1/4 inch. Always measure twice, mark once, and cut once. Precision doesn't come from the blade. It comes from discipline. Once you've mastered the basics, you'll start to feel it. The hum of the motor, the way the blade glides, the subtle give of the wood as it parts cleanly. That's when you know you're no longer fighting the saw. you recommanding it. Every cut becomes intentional, every motion calculated. In the end, a miter saw isn't just a machine, it's a precision instrument. It rewards focus and punishes carelessness. The perfect cut isn't about luck. It's about preparation, setup, and respect. So whether you're framing walls, building furniture, or cutting fine trim, remember, slow is smooth and smooth is perfect. Don't chase speed, chase accuracy. Because in woodworking, perfection isn't the goal, it's the habit.